Hey, good morning. All right, so I figure it this way. I got 7 more days. Well, 6 more days, because next Friday is our wrap-up coaches seminar. And we have a webinar on Monday night, which basically is a giveaway. So I thought, man, I'm going to do some stuff just to sort of recap and tell you that I'm going to be Tasso Talks for another 6 days with a big surprise next Friday, hopefully. I mean, a big surprise next Friday morning. So, looking at the beach there, look how nice it looks out there. Look at that, see there? It's calm today. Wind's still blowing a little bit, so I came up here to do my presentation up on the parking lot of the Plaza Motel. So I wanted to reflect on yesterday's meeting that we had with the coaches. You know, for some reason, last night, I thought of that Steinfeld episode that said, master of my own domain, right? You know, but it's maybe because I was thinking about masters. I was thinking of people who master their skill. It's like, you know, Tony plays the guitar. You know, I'm not very musically inclined. In fact, when I sing, people go like, hey, do you know who sings that? I go, yeah. He says, let them sing it, right? You know, so, but I think that we need to understand that people who are masters at what they do, master musicians, know that they have to suffer a lot before they can really get that opportunity where they really have that big hit in their song, and they do that. Master craftsmen like plumbers and contractors and stuff, they're apprenticed before they ever get the opportunity to be true masters of their thing. You know, today we have hopefully a launch here on the Space Coast, and we're going to hopefully take the opportunity to stay away from the rain that we've had and drive down and see this launch go off. Think how many years those astronauts trained for, you know, some of them. John Glenn, remember John Glenn went up in the air and came right back down. That was about it, right? And but you know, a few minutes, a few hours, a few days, that's what they are, and that's what they do. But they train for years, a lifetime to do that. Think of students who are graduating. I remember graduating from college, doing my all-nighters to get ready. How many times did we do that as students and tried to be so balanced in what we did, all for that, to be able to go to that graduation service. And that's why we all should reach out and be thankful and blessed that all the kids that are graduating today. So I thought about, you know, what made this adventure so awesome with these coaches and everything after yesterday. You know, I sort of reflected because Phil said, you know, next week we're going to get teary-eyed and all that kind of stuff. What made it so good? So I was in my gratitude journal last night, Heather, and now clarification, I have always journaled. I've journaled for the last 35, 40 years of my life. I think I was 21 when I started to journal, 22. But I tell you that journaling for me went to another level with the input of Ariel, Holly, and Heather. Some of the things that made me think about doing that, some of those things I'd done in the past, but I'd stopped doing. And the one big one was separating my gratitude journal and my day-to-day journal, where I have my Teo in. So the first thing I thought about was there's 7 characteristics of the coaches that made up this group today, this 55 days. The number one characteristic is they all have great character. You know, character is a sum total of all the habits you do every day of your life that make you who you are. And I don't doubt the character of any person on our group. Well, there is that Holden character that said he didn't learn anything from me the whole time, you know. I said, how can you do that with all the stupid things I did? You had to learn something not to do, Holden, right? So, but, you know, dependability, trustworthy, not self-centered. You know, Phil's term for it is we're altruists. We all are altruistic. We have the greater good in our thing. And there's not one person that is a coach in this group that you can't say those 3 things about. The second thing is they all have a tremendous track record for success. And, you know, I don't say that because Tony boasts of the 12 or 1,500 people he gets into his presentation of the great Staten Island Slim Down, or because Holly has a TV show. You know, we find that out in the culture of what's out there and how everything's going on. That's how we found that out. And, you know, it's a lot easier to find that out these days because what? We got Facebook pages and stuff like that. We can find out the true character of people. We can see what they do. We can see their track record of success. You know, if you want to see it, if you're picking a coach and you want to see their track record of success, go into their community. Hear the stories about them. You know, are they legends or villains in their community? You're going to find out the people that were on this group with you on 55 days, man, they're legends in their communities. They've done so much great for their community and the people who are around them. They're good listeners. You know, when I first started learning about sales training, they said God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth so that you could listen more than you talk. Now, I understand what some people that I see on this feed right now are saying, but that guy is always talking, right? That sounds sort of unusual for me to say that. But, you know, they say that when you're talking, you're sharing, okay? When you're listening, you're learning. So I love to listen to smart people. I love to listen to tapes. I love to take notes during the webinars I'm on. I had the opportunity to do a 4-hour live stream. I'd actually go all 4 hours of it because we had some technical difficulties with a friend of mine, Luke Carlson, who I met Luke 25 years ago when he came down to Daytona Beach and sat in my organization and basically took notes and went back and did it like 10 times better than I ever thought of doing it in my life. So he was doing a live stream. I said, well, I'm going to invest in that because I understand that Luke's pretty smart, right? So we all as coaches, I know that we have people we look to for mentors in that, and so that's a big part of it as well. So the fourth trait is, I think everybody in this group that is a coach is a good decision maker. They have worked hard to acquire knowledge, to make sure that knowledge is true and honest. Remember, I told you that this program had such great principles and pillars to it because they were all based on being scientifically factual, not something we did in a clinical study, but scientifically factual. It was theological, physiological, and psychologically all balanced. That's why we had the mindset. That's why we had the spiritual connection. That's why we had the cellular health. That's why there's the exercise component. That's why there's the circadian eating. Because this program is completely balanced. This wasn't a weight loss program like you go to a metabolic group and they give you 500 calories a day, or they have you do really weird things. This is a lifestyle that you can sustain and keep up with. So the fifth one is, and boy, 2 people came to my mind when I thought of this one because the story that Phil said. They tell you the truth even when it hurts. Hello, Holly. You know, we've heard the story about Holly and the guy at the event that Phil had. But you know, you want a role model who's honest with you. It's going to tell you the things that you don't want to hear, but they're the right things to hear, right? And you know, my mom was my first and foremost role model. You know, I could hear her today telling me the things that she told me to teach me: hard work, loyalty, honesty, just everything that makes, you know, having the courage to do the right thing, tell people the right things. I'm probably a little weak on that at times. Sometimes I don't do the complete honesty of when I think is going to hurt somebody. So she was a great role model for me, and I learned, you know, if you're tired, you just keep working from her, and to be honest, and the faith that I learned, the faith I have was all from my mom. Let's see. I'm trying to see what message Gary tried to send me. I wonder can everybody hear me out there okay? Or is this wind knocking me down again? So just wondering if someone could put up a thing. So the 6th thing that I said was characteristic of the coaches in this group was they all have great personal relationships. Some of these people, I hear about friends they've had for years and stuff like that. And you know, it's harder today in this day and time to have great personal relationships, because so many people are self-centered and they don't want to let's see, I'm trying to see here, watching. No one's giving me a note yet. So I'm assuming that you guys can hear me. I'm sorry if you can't. Boy, that's going to be a bummer if you can't. So they all have good personal relationships. That's hard to do at a time when there's so much self-centeredness and hooray for me and I don't care about you and I'm going to do what I want to do. You know, I'm wearing my Daytona Beach Police Department cap today because as I drove here, I noticed that they had bike racks all along A1A because we have this thing called Orlando and Miami invades Daytona. And last week it was a real horrible thing to see what went on in our town, and they tried to keep it under control, and they've got a game plan to keep it under control, and I really admire those people. I know, like in Minneapolis, there's a lot of stuff going on that's not good about police and stuff, but down here in Daytona Beach, God bless our guys in blue. We appreciate you and all you do to keep our town safe and that. So, but you look at the relationships that these people have. Some of the people who are coaches on this group have been around Phil for some of them 20 years. I've known Phil for 25 to 30 years. Been affiliated with probably for 10 years as closely as I have been, and it's been a real learning experience. And then I think the biggest thing that's a characteristic of the coaches in this group that made it successful is they love to celebrate other people's success. They like to be the agent of positive change for you, but they want to celebrate your success more than anything. And all of us are celebrating today the things that you have accomplished. Now tomorrow, it's a little more faith-based, but I'm going to talk about fear, because I think the biggest thing that you have to conquer in going forward is overcoming fear, which every one of these coaches has their own fears, has conquered their own fears, and has the opportunity to help you conquer your fear. So I hope you will tune in tomorrow. I hope you have a great Saturday. As I went through these seven things that I put up about what made this such a great experience for the coaches and that, is that I now remember Jim Rohn saying you should have at least 6 mentors in your life, because all of them are not completely strong in all these characteristics. I think all of us are strong in them, but some of us are stronger in other ones than we are in some of them. But think of the cumulative effect of this team and the synergy of this team that has brought you this program over the last 55 days. We have 6 more days that I'm going to go. I know the program ends on Monday with the webinar. If you have not already filled out the questionnaire to give feedback to Phil about the program, please do that. There's some great prizes that are going to be there to be given away. Everybody's a winner in this program. We love all of you, and we're thankful that you were in this program. And I want to once again thank you for what I've taken away from this program, me personally, because I wanted to answer the call that was given to me to service everybody that was in this and to be part of this team. And there was such a great group of superstars that made me bring my game up and realize things I had to overcome and fears I had to overcome. And because of that, I'm very grateful for this. And I hope all of you are as grateful and find reasons and understand that every one of our coaches exhibits all 7 characteristics I told you about that I think made this a great program for us. God bless you. Have a great Saturday. Hopefully you'll tune in with me tomorrow and Sunday. It'll be a little longer. As I said, it is going to pull a little bit more faith-based stuff in it. I will try and keep it as vanilla as possible so that you get the message rather than thinking I'm trying to influence you from anything else. I'll come to you from the chapel at church. So have a wonderful day. God bless. Be blessed and stay strong and safe.